Thoughts of the week. This week, I want to talk about how inconvenient it is to watch an anime dubbed. Now, I'm not trying to make the case that dub is the most definitive way to watch anime, or that subtitles are the definitive way of watching anime. This is mostly talking about how it's inconvenient for people who watch it to watch anime dubbed, because the way that it's distributed, it can be very inconvenient and kind of unfair for those who prefer to watch anime dubbed. Anime has come a long way in society, especially with dubs. Dubs used to be the most inferior way of watching anime, because when anime would be brought over to America, for example, they would make anime more suitable for a Saturday morning cartoon block, like One Piece. One Piece is a show that's kind of aimed for teenagers and people who can kind of understand violence and all that shit, obviously. When they made it originally for American audiences, they censored it all the way to the point where the arrows had suction cups at the end, there was no blood, and they kind of ruined the show. Now that anime's finally being seen as a show for adult audiences or more mature audiences, a lot of these animes are not being censored anymore or being like removed to be more, suitable for kids anymore. Finally, the anime that's targeted for adults is being dubbed for adults. Finally, right? But the issue is this. Let's say you want to watch Kill la Kill dubbed, right? You hear about Kill la Kill, you think everyone loved it, right? You go to Netflix and they only have the subs. You're like, okay, well, you know what? I know Adult Swim has the dub. You go to Adult Swim, but they removed in episode 21. They had some very risque opening scene where Raggio was kind of molesting her daughter. Fucked up, I know, guys. Fucking Raggio, fucking monster, I tell you what. But they removed it obviously because it's airing on television. Okay, fine. But there was a Blu-ray that they did a release of Kill la Kill with the dubs, and they have all of the uncensored stuff intact. So obviously the dub was not censored that heavily originally. They just censored it for the TV syndication, which is fine. Okay, TV editing, fine, whatever. But the original dub is not censored. Great. So how come Netflix doesn't have the rights to have the dub? Sure, the sub is always the first thing that's finished with an anime. When an anime is done and it's airing, it's always subs first. The dubs always come like a year later or whenever they get it all done, which is fine. But to watch it dubbed, you kind of have to go through these other venues to get the dubs that you want, the uncensored dubs, which is fucking shitty. The Blu-ray box sets that they have for Kill la Kill are so expensive, it kinda is frustrating. Because the only way you could get it that's kind of affordable is through subs. Why is it that dubs have to either pay more to get their hands on it than people who watch it subbed? They should get the same experience because it's the same fucking show. All Netflix has to do is upload a audio track that is English dubs. They could easily fucking do that. They have other animes that have dual dubs. They have Little Witch Academia, which is both subbed and dubbed. They have the Japanese dialogue in there. They have the English dub in there. So it's not like, oh well, they have to, no, they have this technology. This technology has existed for years now. So I don't quite understand why getting the tracks for the dub is always the trickiest things with anime. It's kind of unfair for those who prefer dubs. And it gets even worse with video games. Not even worse, I guess, because a lot of video games do get dubbed, but most notably, games like Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear. Both these games did have dubs in the past, but their latest entries, Central Fiction and Guilty Gear, things Xrd, Revelator 2, did not get English dubs. They're stuck with subs, which is fine. I don't mind that at all. That's not a big issue for me because they're fighting games first and foremost. But there's slight little issues I have with it. Most notably with Blaze Blue, for example, is when a match begins, they have this intro for these two characters, and it's very interesting. They talk and all this stuff, and you want to see and you want to know what they're saying, right? There's not even subtitles for that. Like, the story obviously is subbed. When you do the arcade mode, the story prominent parts are all subbed. Okay, great. But why isn't round match intros subtitled? Why aren't winning round quotes subtitled? It's only the match end quotes that are subtitled and the arcade story stuff subtitled, but not match intros. So like, you know, for example, there's these two characters, Ragna and I think the character's name is Leo. Oh man, I need to look this up. But these two characters are like when they start the match, they're like kind of like looking at each other very fiercely, and they have a very unique intro. So you're wondering, what are they saying? Well, if you don't speak Japanese and you rely on subtitles, you'll never know. And that's what I don't like. I don't like that if you're gonna subtitle something, then have everything be subtitled. So, in that regard, it's even more annoying and frustrating because you can't really get the full experience that a person who speaks Japanese gets with some of these games. And some of the anime that people like to see, some of the OVAs don't get subtitled or they don't make it overseas, so you have to rely on fan subtitles. And that in of itself might even be more erroneous than the fucking subtitles from an English development team or whatever. And that's really, really frustrating that, if you can't get the dub, then you might get fucked. Like, the subtitles is fine. I don't mind subtitles. This isn't like, oh, everything needs to be dubbed. But if you're not going to dub it and, the subtitles need to be there. And dubs in of itself can be very costly on top of that. Like, if you like dubs, if you're very exclusive on your dubs, then you already limit yourself to how much anime you can see. Because not a lot of streaming services have it. Hulu, for example, is the worst at this. I really have a bone to pick with Hulu. There's an anime on Hulu, I think it's like, Sailor Moon might have this issue, but I've seen it with other animes that Hulu offers, where some episodes are dubbed, but not all of them. And you'll never know if they're gonna get the rest of the dub for this particular anime, and that can be very fucking frustrating. You can watch like 5 episodes of a show that's like maybe like a 5-season show, but you're on season 1, you're on the 5th episode, and there's only 5 episodes within season 1 that are dubbed. So you expect to go from the dub back to the sub, but then at that point you might have some inconsistencies with what you heard with the dub then. So it's really frustrating because if you're not going to finish the show dubbed, then why offer a dubbed option if it's not going to be for the entire fucking show? Like, that's the issue. If you have a show that's all subbed, then fine, have it all subbed. At least with Netflix, they have an entire show that's subbed and they keep it that way. If, it's not like, okay, well, we have 5 episodes of Kill la Kill dubbed, might as well upload those 5 episodes dubbed, okay? That's set up. Oh, we can't get the rest of the episodes dubbed. Well, it is what it is. And then they move on and you only get 5 episodes of Kill la Kill dubbed. That's really fucking shitty. And I really hate that because it's inconsistent and it kind of kills any interest that a dubber might have. People who exclusively watch shows dubbed and they don't want to watch the subtitles ever are gonna be fucking put off because they'll have a show that they cannot finish because that service did not upload the rest of the show dubbed. Now, Netflix doesn't have that issue because Netflix is very straightforward with what they upload. Netflix has another issue which I'll get into another video, I guess, but it's just, at least they're consistent with what they upload. Hulu is terrible about this. They upload like some episodes are dubbed, and then the rest of the show of the series might just be subbed only, and that is very fucking frustrating. Like with games, sure, BlazBlue and Guilty Gear have that where majority of their games are dubbed, and then the latest 2 games are sub only, but at least it's sub only. At least it's consistent with that. It's not like, okay, well, we pop in BlazBlue, only one character is dubbed, everyone else is all Japanese only. Like, that would be frustrating. But at least it's consistent with what you expect. And that's what I don't like about Hulu. It really ruins that in that regard. So, that's my little opinion and my thought on how anime dubs can be very inconvenient for the viewer. Because it's expensive. Because if you want to go buy the Blu-ray of it, it can run all the way up to $60 or above, especially with the Kill la Kill box sets, which is fucking ridiculous. Seriously, Aniplex, fuck you. uh, so it could be that, or you could get inconsistencies with what shows are dubbed and what are not, such as Hulu having some episodes dubbed within a series, but the rest of the series being subbed only, which is fucking ridiculous. Come on, Hulu, fix that shit up. Uh, and maybe some of the distribution with Netflix can be kind of frustrating, where they make artificial seasons out of the fucking dub. Little Witch Academia is one season, ladies and gentlemen, but Netflix split it into two because they only recorded 13 episodes, 12 to 13 episodes dubbed first. They uploaded that, and then they uploaded the rest of it when the rest of the show was dubbed. When they should have just uploaded the entire show. If they were going to do it dubbed, they should have uploaded the entire show once the entire show was dubbed if they were going to do that. Alright everyone, now that is done. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know in the description below. Is it frustrating for you when you're trying to watch a show dubbed? Or is it just not that big of a deal because you prefer subs or whatever? Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.